getting ready to put the roof on, and we're going to first set our ridge beam. This is a pitched roof, so we have a double laminated 2x6 ridge beam that runs in the center, and then our rafters are going to come down off that and attach to the sides of the house, right there and over there. So to support our ridge beam, to connect our rafters to get started, we're going to put 4x4s cut at the height of where the ridge beam needs to be, centered on this back plate of the house here, and also on the front plate of the house over there. You can see our 4x4 is already in place. So I found center of this back plate here. Center and 3.5 inches square to accommodate the 4x4. I'm just going to drive some screws in here to hold this on. Okay, so we're putting in some 2x6 bracing between our east and west beams here, because our roof is pitched from the center down to the west and down to the east, and that's going to put, on a heavy snow load, it's going to put maybe a lot of force, a lot of outward force, even with our collar ties between our rafters. It can still put a decent amount of force on the east and west walls pushing out. We're just letting them into some collar ties. Did you fit in there? Sweet. And we just bent that collar tie down to allow the board to come into it, and then we're going to press it back up vertical and drive a couple nails there. So we've also braced our temporary supports, so brace them so they're plumb. They're perfectly straight up, and this brace prevents them from moving this way and that way. So we make sure that our ridge beam up on top is going to be perfectly plumb and centered in the middle of our north and south beams. That I don't know about. Come to me. Now that we got our ridge beam up in the right place on our temporary 4x4 supports, we're going to do our layout for our hurricane ties that our rafters are going to connect to. Our hurricane ties are just going to be mounted onto the ridge beam like this, and then our rafters are going to be connected to the hurricane ties, and our rafters are going to go down every 2 feet down to the east and west beams of the house there. So we want to do our 2-foot on center layout. So to do that, we pull off the edge of the beam, and this is our first rafter is going to go right at the edge here. Our second rafter is going to go at 2 feet, which I already have marked, and our third rafter is going to go at 4 feet, which I already have marked. And we just continue that layout. That's what Ben's doing over there. He's continuing that layout all the way down the ridge beam. After you got your marks, you want to use your speed square. Just carry that mark, that line, around both sides of the rafter, so that we have a reference to connect our hurricane ties to. Here, I got to pull this down. See my mark right there. I'm just going to pull this down to the front of the... Okay, got my mark. So this layout is meant to mount like this. I'm lining our 2-foot marks up to this side of the rafter. That's because over here, our first rafter has to be right at the edge of our ridge beam. That's where the layout starts, right on the edge there. And we're just going to like bend that over this edge of the ridge beam when we get it done. And that's how you do it.